Humans are evolving. There's people being born without wisdom teeth now, so that's evolution. In like 3,000 years, if we're still going, we may have 3 toes instead of 5, but they're larger. Yeah, I just don't put any stock into that because if you follow those models, I mean, those might be more refined than the one I'm about to pull up, but if you follow those models, then this is what the average gamer is going to look like in 20 years. Or 200 years or something. Can't remember. Oh no, it was 20 years. So like, oh my god, this one needs ads. I fucking hate Daily Mail. Like, this is what we could look like at 2040. And I guess we'll see, I could be wrong. But I don't think we're going to experience this drastic of a change. Nice camel toe on that model. Oh, yeah, that's weird. They don't explain the camel toe. But yeah, you're right. How tall do you think we'll be? Do you mean according to this model? Or like in general? I think the general trend of evolution is getting taller. So as we continue to evolve, I think the average height will continue to get taller. But it'll probably level out at a certain point. But if we're following the future gamer model, I think we're going to start getting shorter. We'll probably start ending up looking like the Screeches out of Destiny 2 in like 100 years. Or Screeb, not Screech, sorry. Screeb. Took a height calculator when I was 12, said I'd be 6'6" when I grow up. I ended up being a whopping 5'5". Damn, you got pranked. Thoughts on women of the future? Following the same gamer model or just like general evolution? I think the general trend of humans is getting taller, so women will probably also start getting taller as well, like the average height of a woman. But if we're following the gamer model, probably also going to end up like Gollum out of Lord of the Rings, because it looks like gamers are not looking good 100 years from now. Thanks for the resub, Greg. I don't know, Jason. I don't know how we prevent this. It's already happening. I don't think so. I don't think we're experiencing it at a huge scale yet. Like, these are huge claims. I don't think we're quite there at the moment. Like, maybe the indent in skull. That one's probably becoming more prevalent. Bald patches, perhaps. Dark circles, maybe. But then when you start getting down to first-person shooter wrist, blisters on fingertips, PlayStation thumb, and Nintendo arthritis, that's a little much. For 20 years. And the camel toe, true. And the camel toe. The balding doesn't even make sense unless the testosterone levels are increasing from all the gaming. Voice crack. Well, they're calling the bald patches a lack of sunlight and vitamin D, as opposed to attributing it to an increase in T levels. But we all know gaming improves testosterone. We know that. So it's probably a little bit of both. Why can't men evolve to remove our nipples already? That's an interesting question, actually. I'll look it up. Will men have nipples in the future? While male nipples are something thought to be vestigial, meaning that they have become functionless in the course of evolution, much like the appendix or wisdom teeth, that is largely untrue. Oh. They may be more accurately described as remnants of fetal development, but even this suggests that male nipples serve no real purpose. The nipple, in fact, contains a dense supply of nerves that function as a major stimulatory organ. As such, it can be considered a secondary sex characteristic in men, along with facial hair and an Adam's apple. Interesting. The stimulatory response in men and women appears to be unique to the human species. It could potentially have evolutionary value in that it contributes to the desire to reproduce. This said, the nerve network in the male nipple is much denser than that in the female nipple, meaning that the sensory response tends to be more discrete. Huh. I wouldn't necessarily say like when the nipple is stimulated, there's like a higher desire to reproduce. I do know that if you overstimulate a man's nipple, it can lactate under the right set of circumstances. But I don't know about it being like a sexual stimulatory booster. No shot? No, that's real. It's not like actual milk, like not actual lactation, but it is comparable. Where is the process? Okay. Short answer is yes, anyone can lactate. What's it called though? Galactoria is the medical term for breast milk production not due to pregnancy or nursing. Most cases of male galactoria are caused by high levels of a hormone called prolactin. Prolactin is a human hormone that stimulates milk production. Everyone has a small amount of prolactin in their blood, but it's usually not enough to lead to milk production. Hyperprolactemia is the medical term for a person who has abnormally high levels of prolactin but isn't pregnant or nursing. And when the prolactin levels are high, the mammary glands in the breast produce milk. And then it goes through like how that can happen and lead to like a lactation event in a man. But it's not common and it's not easy. But it can happen. Thanks for resub Velvet, Sinless, and the gift sub Velvet. My PT said eating broccoli at night increases T levels naturally. Don't know about that, but T levels spike when you sleep. Dope video idea. To see which of my friends and I can lactate first. That's not bad. Okay, how to lactate as a man. See if there's a guide. Like, how can I just stimulate it to, like, pop off on milk production? Fuck, this is like a very... this is not an easy process. And it looks like you need to take a certain set of hormones as well. Yeah, so if we were going to try and do this competition on who could lactate first in our group, we'd need to like prep for a good bit of time. Unless one of us is naturally prone to a higher level of prolactin production. Which I guess we could find out. No shot you're considering this? Why? It's like... It's not that... It's not like the biggest undertaking. Like, we could just like really work on it for a while and see what happens. Like, that's not a huge investment of resources or effort. And then if none of us get any kind of like letdown or anything, then none of us have a high prolactin production rate. Thanks to the resub, Jojo. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it seems like it's not, like I said, it's not easy and it's not common. But there is a chance that one of us does have an abnormal rate of production of prolactin. So if we really like work at it, we could maybe get a little something. No, I'm not talking about... No, like, even without hormones or anything, if you have an abnormally high, at least according to this, if you have an abnormally high prolactin production, you can just stimulate it enough and get like a little bit out. So that's what I'm talking about. Not like actually prepping for it, like with taking hormones to see who lactates first or anything. Just talking about like if one of us has that already built into us, could work it to see what comes out. Would it hurt? What would it feel like? I don't know. It doesn't. It seems like it's just like mainly a big stimulation of the nipple. So it could maybe even feel good. I've tried doing this before. Kind of feels good, but eventually you get sensory overload and feels like you're gonna puke. All right. I won't do it then. I don't want to puke.